Hello students, how are you? I hope you all are fit and fine. So dear students, as you know that we are reading chapter 1, the third level, written by Jack Finney in Snapshot. As of now, dear students, in this story we have seen that the protagonist Charlie, a man of 31 years, protagonist Charlie, a man of 31 years, he describes his experience in Grand Central Station. Whenever he visits Grand Central Station, he always finds new entrance and exit, so he is totally confused. But this time, what happens with him is really strange. He tells us that he reaches the third level of Grand Central Station, where he found all the things were old style. But according to the president, there were only two levels at Grand Central Station. When he shared his experience with his psychiatrist friend Sam said he wanted to escape from the reality, from insecurity, as the world war was going on. So the country, the city was full of insecurity, war, so anxiety. So that is why, in order to run away from these things, in order to escape from these things, he was just pretending. It was just his imagination, not reality. So no one believed on this. So let's see, dear students, what happened next in the story. So here the major things which we must remember: the protagonist, whose name is Charlie, Sam, Charlie's friend, psychiatrist, and Grand Central Station. Grand Central Station. This story moves from imagination to reality, and again reality to imagination. So as far as the existence of third level is concerned, so it was just the imagination of Charlie, imagination of protagonist. Third level did not exist in reality there. Okay. So let us read out the remaining part of the story and come to know what happened in the end of the chapter. So let me once again explain the whole chapter from beginning. Third level, written by Jack Finney. Before you read, have you ever had any curious experience within others find hard to believe? So dear students, have you experienced any such curious things? The author asks us, which was very strange to believe for others. So have you gone through any such experience? The presidents of the New York Central and the New York, New Haven and Hartford railroads will swear on a stake of timetables that there are only two. So here the protagonist says that the presidents of the New York Central and New York and New Haven and Hartford Railroad, presidents of these cities, they will swear that they will promise that they will swear on the stake means pile, on the pile of timetables. They, by keeping their hand on the pile of timetables, they can promise that there are only two levels at the Grand Central Station. But I say there are three. But according to protagonist, there were three levels, because I've been on the third level of the Grand Central Station, because here the author tells us that he had been on the third level of Grand Central Station. Yes, I have taken the obvious step. I talked to psychiatrist friend of mine among others. He also talked about it, discussed about his visit at third level. So he discussed it to his psychiatrist friend. I told him about the third level at Grand Central Station, and he told them about the third level at Grand Central Station. And he said it was a waking dream wish fulfillment. So his psychiatrist friend told him that it was nothing but a daydreaming. He said, I was unhappy, that made my wife kind of mad, but he explained that he meant the modern world is full of insecurity, fear, war, worry, and all the rest of it, and that I just want to escape. He said, because the modern world is full of insecurity, war, fear, worry. So that is why he wanted to escape the reality. He wanted to run away from the reality. So that is why he was just waving this story of third level. But they don't want well, who doesn't? Everybody I know wants to escape. But they don't wander down into any third level at Grand Central Station. Further, he says that yes, everybody wants to escape from the insecurity, war, anxiety, but who imagines such story about third level at Grand Central Station? There are so many ways by which anyone can escape. Why one should disclose this story of third level? Why one should claim the existence of third level at Grand Central Station? But that's the reason, he said, and my friends all agreed. Everything points to it, they claimed. So everyone agreed that the protagonist wanted to run away, wanted to escape the reality. So that is why he was making such stories. My stamp collecting, for example, that's the temporary refuge from reality. Well, maybe but my grandfather didn't need any refuge from reality. Things were pretty nice and peaceful in his days, from all I hear, and he started my collection. It's a nice collection too. Blocks of 4 of practically every US issue, first day covers, and so on. President Roosevelt collected stamps too, So he said that he had a habit of collecting the stamps. So this habit was also considered that he was collecting the stamp because he wanted to run away from the reality. So further he said it was not like that. If it was like so, then why his grandfather was collecting the stamps? During his time there was no war, there was no insecurity. The things were pretty nice and peaceful. So why he wanted to run away? Why he was collecting the stamps? He further also gave example of the President Roosevelt that he was also collecting the stamps. So why it can be said that he wanted to escape, that is why he was collecting the stamp. Anyway, here's what happened at Grand Central. One night last summer, I worked late at the office. I was in a hurry to get uptown to my apartment, so I decided to take the subway from Grand Central because it's faster than bus. So one day he got late. He worked late in his office. He worked for late hours, and he got late. He was getting late for his home. So that is why he decided to catch a train, because trains are faster than the buses. So that is why he decided to get a train. Now I don't know why this should have happened to me. So here he says that he did not know why such things are happening with him, what were the things which were happening with him. I am just an ordinary guy named Charlie, 31 years old, and I was wearing a gabardine suit, tan gabardine suit, and a straw hat with a fancy band. So with these lines, the author wants to tell us that protagonist tries to say that he was, his looking was same as other person in the city. He was looking same as them. He was wearing the same clothes as them. He was wearing a yellowish tight suit, tan gabardine suit means yellowish tight suit he was wearing, and he was wearing straw hat with a fancy band. So like other people in the city, he was also wearing these things. So why these things? Why? So he was not strange. He was not different from them. So why he was passing through such experiences? Okay. I passed a dozen men who looked just like me. So here once again he says that he passed a dozen men when he was going to Grand Central Station. He passed a dozen men and all were looking like him. With these lines he wants to tell us that he was looking like, he was like everybody. He was not different. He was also like everybody, a man. He was not different. And I wasn't trying to escape from anything. So that time, as his friend Sam said that he wanted to escape from the reality, so that is why he was making such stories. But he said he was not trying to escape from anything. I just wanted to get home to Louisa, my wife. So he just wanted to reach his home to his wife. I turned into Grand Central from Vanderbilt Avenue and went down the steps to the first level where you take trains like the 20th century. So he entered Grand Central station from Vanderbilt Avenue and went down the steps to the first level from where he could catch the trains like 20th century. Then I walked down another flight to the second level. Then he went to the second level where the suburban trains leave from where suburban trains were leaving. So ducked into the arched doorway heading for the subway. Then he entered, ducked into means entered. He entered an arched doorway which was heading for the subway and got lost. So once he entered the arched doorway, then he got lost. So that's easy to do. So this, getting lost was very easy for him as he had experienced before too. I have been in and out of Grand Central hundreds of times. So hundreds of times the narrator had been to, the protagonist had been to Grand Central, but I am always bumping into new doorways and stairs and corridors. But whenever he visits, he finds a new doorways and stairs and corridors at Grand Central. Once I got into a tunnel about a mile long and came out in the lobby of the Roosevelt Hotel. So once he got into a tunnel which was about a mile long and came out in the lobby of the Roosevelt Hotel. So here, dear students, he shares his experiences, how he was getting lost at Grand Central Grand Central Station and what happened with him uh, at different occasions. So he tells us. So once what happened, he got into a tunnel about a mile long. The tunnel was about a mile long and came out in the lobby of the Roosevelt Hotel. And then after entering the tunnel, he came out in the lobby of Roosevelt Hotel. Another time I came up in an office building on 46th Street, 3 blocks away. Another time, what happened with him? He entered and he came up in an office building on the 46th Street, which was 3 blocks away. Sometimes I think Grand Central is growing like a tree, pushing out new corridors and staircases like roots. So sometimes, as his experience was very unusual at Grand Central Station, so that is why he was concluding that the station was growing like a tree, as a tree grows different branches and roots. In the same way, the Grand Central Station was also growing corridors and staircases. There's probably a long tunnel that nobody knows about, feeling its way under the city right now, on its way to Times Square and maybe another to Central Park. So there's probably a long tunnel that nobody knows about, feeling its way under my city. So he says that it might be a long tunnel and nobody knows about it. It is under the city, and it might be ending to Times Square or Central Park. Maybe because so many people through the years, Grand Central has been an exit, a way of escape. Maybe that's how the tunnel I got into. So he thought many people, they, in order to escape from the reality, they imagined this tunnel. So that is why this time I am getting into the tunnel. But I never told my psychiatrist friend about that idea. But this experience of going through the tunnel, he did not share with his psychiatrist friend Sam. The corridor I was in began angling left and slanting downwards, and I thought that was wrong, but I kept on walking. So the corridor through which he was moving, I was began in angling left, and I started turning left and slanting downwards, and he thought that he was wrong, but he kept on walking. He thought that he was going on a wrong track, even though he continued walking. All I could hear was the empty sound of my own footsteps, and I didn't pass a soul. So he could hear the empty sound of his own footsteps only. He did not find a single person to pass from there. Then I heard that sort of hollow roar. I hate that, means open space and people talking. So then he found a hollow space and he heard people talking there. The tunnel turned sharp left. I went down a short flight of stairs and came out on the 3rd level at Grand Central Station. Then he kept following the corridor, and he reached at the through the flight of stairs, he reached at the 3rd level of Grand Central Station, about which the protagonist is talking. So it is just, dear student, it is just his imaginary. In reality, there was no 3rd level at Grand Central Station. So through this chapter, the author wants to tell us is, if our imagination is too strong, we start realizing the things in reality. So it happens. For just a moment, I thought I was back on the second level, but I saw the rooms was smaller. There were fewer ticket windows and train gates, and the information booth was in the center. Uh, Center was wood and old looking. So he thought that he might reach the second level, but when he saw the things around him, he found them totally different from the second level. They were, unlike second level, there were fewer ticket windows and train gates, and the information booth in the center was wood, made up of wood, and it was old looking. So these things making this level different from second level. And the men in booth were in green eye shade and long black sleeve protectors. So man who was sitting in booth, he was wearing a green eye shade and long black sleeves protectors. The lights were dim and sort of flickering. The lights were very dim and they were moving out, flickering. Then I saw why they were open flame gas lights. So he saw why they were having that open flame gas lights. He could not understand these things, what was happening. First he thought that he reached at the second level, but when he saw the things around him, they were unlike second level. They were just different from second level. He found many things in old style. Okay, they were of old fashioned. So that is why he concluded that he was not at the second level. Further, dear students, there were brass spittoons on the floor, and across the station a glint of light caught my eye. A man was pulling a gold watch from his vest pocket. So there was brass spittoons on the floor. Spittoons, the utensils which are kept for spitting, a type of dustbin you can say. So he saw the brass spittoons on the floor, and across the station a glint of light caught my eye. He was distracted by a shining light which was coming from a man's gold watch, who was taking out his vest from his vest pocket. He snapped open the cover, glanced at his watch and frowned. Then he snapped open his cover and glanced at his watch and moved ahead. He wore a derby hat and black 4-button suit with tiny lapels. So he was wearing a derby hat and a black 4-button suit, and having whose sides we can say decorative sides. Okay, with a tiny lapel, tiny sides were there, you can see on the coat, and it's a design on the coat. He had a big black handlebar mustache. So he was also having like handle like mustaches, big mustache. Then I looked around and I saw that everyone in the station was dressed like 18, 19 something. Then he looked around and he found that everyone in the station they were dressed like 18, 19 something. I never saw so many beards, sideburns and fancy mustaches in my life. So before that day he had never seen many beards, people having beards, sideburns, and fancy mustaches in his life. A woman walked in through the train gate. She wore a dress with a leg of mutton sleeves and skirts to the top of her high buttoned shoes. So he saw a woman enter the gate. She was wearing a dress which was like a leg of mutton sleeves and skirts on the top of her high buttoned shoes. Back of her, out on the tracks, I caught a glimpse of a locomotive, a very small Carrier and Ives locomotive with a funnel-shaped stake. Then he was attracted towards the train. The train was in old style. It was Carrier and Ives locomotive with a funnel-shaped stack. So all things which he could see there, it was of 1890s. Everything the people were they were putting on the dresses like the people were wearing in 1890s. The train, the model of the train was also of 1890. Okay, so what he could see there, it was of olden time of 1890 there. So that is why he was very much confused there. And then I knew, to make sure, I walked over to a newsboy and glanced at the stack of papers at his feet. Then, to make sure, he looked towards the newsboy, the boy who was selling the newspapers. He saw a pile of newspapers at his feet. It was The World. The name of the newspaper was The World. And The World hasn't been published for years. And this newspaper, The World, has not been published for years. The lead story said something about President Cleveland. So this lead story was about President Cleveland, and President Cleveland was not that time. It was President Roosevelt that time. So I have found that front page since in the public library files, and it was printed June 11, 1894. So he found that this newspaper was published in June 11, 1894. So dear students, here protagonist shares his experience which he came across, which he undergone in at the third level, which was totally different. He found each and everything was of old style of 1890s. Even in the newspaper, the date which was printed, it was 11th June 1894. So all the things were very strange for him, very different for him, which he was sharing with us here. I turned towards the ticket windows, knowing that here on the third level at Grand Central, I could buy tickets that would take Louisa and me anywhere in the United States we wanted to go. So he went towards the ticket windows and hoping that on the third level at Grand Central, he could buy a ticket that would take Louisa and him anywhere in the United States. Where they wanted to go, they could catch the train and they could go. In the year 1894, and I wanted 2 tickets of Galesburg, Illinois. So he wanted to buy 2 tickets to Galesburg, Illinois. Have you ever been there? It's a wonderful town still, with big old frame houses, huge lawns, and tremendous trees whose branches meet overhead and roof the streets. So here again protagonist asked us a question whether the readers had been there. So the Galesburg, Illinois is a wonderful town still it is having the old frame houses, huge lawns and tremendous trees, which branches meet overhead and roof the streets. And in 1894, summer evenings were twice as long, and people sat out on their lawns, and men smoking cigars and talking quietly, the women waving palm leaf fans, and the fireflies all around, in a peaceful world. To be back there with the First World War still 20 years off, and World War II over 40 years in the future. I wanted 2 tickets for that. So he describes, how the people were enjoying in year 1894, how they were enjoying their summer evenings, which were twice as long, and people sat out on their lawns, men smoking their cigars, they were talking quietly, the women waving palm leaf fans, with the fireflies all around, in a peaceful world. So it was a peaceful world. So here one thing, dear students, which again and again we are coming across, the modern world in which the protagonist was living, it was full of insecurities. But the 1894, before the World War, it was peaceful. Okay, there with the First World War was still 20 years off, and World War II over 40 years in the future. I wanted 2 tickets for that. See, so he wanted 2 tickets for going to 1890s, where the things were very peaceful, because till then no world war took place. So on the third level, he found that he could catch a train and he could go in 1894, because he witnessed the newspaper which was having the date. It said that it was published in on June 11, 1894. So thus he wanted to go to this peaceful world as the modern world. Because of World War, it was full of insecurities, anxieties and fear. So it's all about today's video, dear students. In my next video, I'll explain the remaining part of this chapter. So thank you, students, for watching this video. See you tomorrow in the next video, and we will be finishing this chapter in the next video, and a lot of discussion regarding question answer also will be done in the next video. See you tomorrow.